Hi, it's Mike. In this video we're going to take a look at a sort of simulated telemetry scenario where we're going to use Minecraft to be able to publish events to Azure Event Hub, and then we're going to do some interesting stuff with that afterwards. So to begin with, I'm going to head over to my library building and see this is the library. And one thing to notice here is in the scenario we're going to try and pass information about people going in and out of buildings in a sort of in and out of things style telemetry scenario, and that information about people going in and out of buildings is going to be sent up to the cloud. We're going to use Azure Event Hubs to kind of process that stream of information, and then we're going to look at a business intelligence solution to be able to do something useful with that. So let's have a quick look at this. So the first thing is, if you notice in the library, if we walk up to the door, there's this little panel on the door. Now, with using Minecraft, we're obviously limited to a degree in some of what we can do. And, well, I mean, maybe that's not a fair statement. We can do a lot of stuff. I guess the easiest way to simulate a sort of building device is by using this floor panel. So when I walk over this panel, you can see that this little thing here called a redstone signal lights up. And what that does is it sends a signal to this computer, and if I click on the computer, you can see there's a program here that runs, and that's just telling me that the redstone's turned off at the moment. And when that computer comes online, there's a startup program which runs that listens for those redstone signals coming in, and then sends a message out to the event hub every time it happens. So you can see if we walk back out the building, there's another redstone signal gone up. And also we've wired up the same technique in the cake shop here. So you can see if we look at this nice little bakers, we've got a panel on the floor, and if we go in, you can see the computer gets a signal to do something. So let's head back to the library now, and we'll have a little bit of a look at what happens when that computer gets its message. So if I pull in my text file here, so in ComputerCraft, which is the mod that we use on Minecraft to get these computer terminals, you basically write computer programs in Lao for these computers. I can edit these in Notepad by just opening the programs from the file systems. This contains the startup program, and I've got my my little sort of external APIs that I pull in here. So I've got some JSON functions and some custom functions that I've written. In the startup program, we kick off with a loop that clears the console, and then it listens for redstone signals coming in. And then if we get a redstone signal, you can see here I've got a URL for my service bus event hub. So here's my service bus namespace, and here's my event hub name. I've also got a shared access secret that I populate as an HTTP authorization header when I send my message. I'm going to create a simple scrap of JSON that just tells me the building you've entered as the library, and then we encode that JSON and we do an HTTP post up to the event hub, and then if that's successful, we just come out and wait for the next redstone signal. So you can see that the code to be able to do this is really straightforward. Next, we've got our Azure Service Bus namespace. So I think the one we were using was the events one. So here's our namespace here, and if you go into the Event Hub section, and you'll see we've got our building telemetry event hub, and just very vanilla setup. You can see we've got some messages came in. We've got just the default consumer groups. There's nothing, particularly different than a very standard event hub scenario here. But where it gets interesting is when we start looking at how we process those messages. So for this, I've got a stream analytics job set up called building telemetry, and if we have a look at what this does, so to begin with, we've got our input, and we receive a data stream from the Azure Event Hub. And you can go in here and you can see we're just using the basic setup for that. We're expecting a JSON message, and very simple setup from the stream analytics job here. It's It's one of the kind of out-of-the-box features to be able to receive from an event hub. Next we've got our query. And our query again is a straightforward query where we're doing a select star into Minecraft buildings output, which is the output I'm going to show in a second. And we select it from Minecraft buildings, which was the input data source. So that job really just lets us push everything through to that output. At this stage we're not going to aggregate anything or any particularly fancy stuff in Stream Analytics. The output, so I've decided that for this case I want to output to Power BI, and that'll let me have a nice rich business intelligence dashboard. So here I've configured a data set called Minecraft Buildings, a table name called Buildings, and then I've connected it to my own Power BI setup. So basically the Stream Analytics job gets data off the event hub and pushes it through into Power BI. That's everything in Azure now, so we haven't written a line of code there, we've just configured an event hub and we've configured a stream. Next, if we go over to Power BI, so when we run our job we'll see this Minecraft buildings table will start to appear, and the JSON that I'm flowing through the Stream Analytics job is pretty straightforward. So the only thing we've really got of interest is this building field here, and using this this table of data, that's going to fill it back and create some reports. So one of the reports I've created here is just a count of how many events there's been, and I've got that as like sort of an accelerator speed dial type thing. And here I've got a report which includes kind of how many events have there been by type of building. So you can see here there's been some from the cake shop and some from the library. And what I can do is I can choose to add those reports to a dashboard. So I've created my Minecraft building telemetry dashboard here, where where you can see I've got a couple of reports. I've got my simple dashboard there with how many events there's been, and also my my by type building report. So next, if we go back to Minecraft now and we start having a look at what happens on the Power BI reports, because the reports themselves are going to be near real time based on when the Stream Analytics job runs. So if I go through the door there, we should see that within a second or so that job should have run, and I'll update the update those reports. So you can see the building usage just changed to 98, and if I go back and forward a few times, we'll start seeing that jump in there, 99. And let's go over to the cake shop and just show that the other report's updating in near real time as well. So you can see the cake shop bar's starting to move up slightly. So hopefully that video demonstrates that with just a very small amount of code we've been able to stream telemetry events up to Azure, and using Azure features that we can easily power them, push those events through into Power BI to create the start of a rich reporting solution. Now what I think is quite cool about this is the underlying infrastructure there in Azure and Power BI is actually something that would scale to an enormous amount of load, and we could actually use that for building pretty much a production system which will be not a million miles away from what I've demonstrated in this proof of concept. Using Minecraft really just allowed us to have a way of demonstrating how you can send the events up to the cloud, but many of you know who watch some of my other videos that Minecraft's quite a good thing that I'm using these days with my son to build some demos to help teach him about IT, but at the same time we're using this really robust infrastructure in the background and playing around with something fun in the middle. So in this demo here, I think we took about 2.5 hours, including building the library and the cake shop, and then learning. I mean, I'd never called event hubs previously before we did this demo, so what we were able to do was just have a bit of a Google to find out how to call event hubs over HTTP, and then we can plug that into the Minecraft advanced computer code there, and then AJ is pretty good at the old redstone stuff here, these signals, and knowing how to wire them together. So it was a bit of a team effort, but hopefully that looks like quite a good demo for people, and you can see some interesting stuff to play around with, either with your kids, or potentially there's some useful stuff for being able to demonstrate real projects as well.